ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone, to the Mailman Center Grand Round. My name is Michelle Schladant, and I'm part of the leadership team here at the Mailman Center, and my background is in special education, and I oversee our Art Abilities program. And I do that along with Rosalind and Cal, Rosalind, who's our coordinator of our Art Abilities program. And I'm presenting today with Shelly Baer, who is the Director of Leadership Initiatives, and Joanne Palenzuela, who is a Program Manager, and Shelly is the Director of the Bold and Beauty Project, and Joanne helps along with that. And we have some guest speakers, Mabel Morales, who will be joining us shortly. As you know, in Miami-Dade County, she's stuck in traffic. We've all been victims of that. So she'll be joining us shortly. She's the district supervisor for Miami-Dade County Visual Performing Arts Program. And we also have two of our models from the Bold Beauty Project, Denise Preje and Emma Reyes. And so we're going to be talking to you today about a couple of our projects, Art Abilities and Bold Beauty, and some other initiatives at Miami-Dade County Public Schools and how we're using art as a tool for social change. You'll also notice that in our presentation today, we have pictures from our Art Abilities collection as well as photos from our Bold Beauty. So before we get started talking about these wonderful programs that we have here at the Mailman Center and with Miami-Dade County Public Schools, let's just take a walk through history and see some of the social changes that have occurred affecting people with disabilities across the centuries. And so if you haven't been to our training suite just down the hall in room 3047, we have this very large mural, which is really a history of disabilities. And without knowing much about the picture, when you first see it, most people are offended and think, what is this mural all about? Well, it really depicts the broad social changes that we have seen affecting people with disabilities from ancient Greek times to now, present day. And so I'll just point out a little bit of the mural. If you look here, beginning with the ancient Greeks and Romans, oftentimes people with disabilities were victims of infanticide, or they were accused of being witches and were burned at the stake, as you see right here, or were being accused of being demons or possessed by demons. And then we see here in the beginning of the 19th century, people with disabilities were then placed in institutions, and this really became a symbol of neglect and abuse. Then moving into the mid-19th century, we see that people with disabilities were victims of heinous Nazi experiments. And then moving into the late 19th century is really this picture of a wheelchair going up this accessible ramp. And that really is to symbolize the efforts of people with disabilities, their family members, and other advocates moving up this ramp. And you can't see it in this picture here, but if you look up close, you'll see some of the names of those individuals and their efforts moving towards public policy and advocacy, really moving towards this full inclusion for people with disabilities. So while we still need to do a lot of work in social change, and people with disabilities still experience many social challenges and personal challenges, we're seeing this shift, this move towards full inclusion. And really this push to dispel stereotypes that really negatively impact people with disabilities. And really this whole idea of more fully including people with disabilities in work, school, play, including the arts. So today we're going to highlight several of our initiatives through Mailman Center and Miami-Dade County Public Schools that are using art as a mechanism to highlight the talent and beauty of people who are oftentimes singled out because of their disability. And I will also just mention that the work, that this picture is from a local artist here in Miami-Dade County, Xavier Portado. So let's talk about the Art Abilities program. This is actually a partnership with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And if you walk around the Mailman Center, there are over 400 pieces from our Art Abilities collection all over our building, in some of our UHealth satellites, as well as on the medical campus. So when you walk around, we have some of our pictures displayed here in the room today, but when you walk around the Mailman Center and you see these works of art, they're from our Art Abilities collection. The purpose of the Art Abilities program is to, as I mentioned before, we're using it as a mechanism to highlight the artistic abilities of children from Miami-Dade County Public Schools with disabilities who are oftentimes singled out because of their disability. And this really began, the catalyst was in 1995. It was decided, that was obviously before I was born, but in 1995, just a little humor there. In 1995, it was decided to display children's artwork on the Mailman Center annual report. We're Department of Pediatrics, we serve children. And so we thought of this idea of displaying artwork from students with disabilities from Miami-Dade County Public Schools. So we received 25 submissions, and we selected a piece of art, and this is actually the art that we selected. Kelly Lynch at the time she was 8 years old, is a student with a disability in Miami-Dade County Public Schools with autism. But we also noticed that the other 24 pieces also deserved recognition. So what we did was we had an art ceremony and exhibition so that the parents and children could come to the Mailman Center and actually see their arts of work. And really, give or take a couple of years, pretty much since that time, every single year, we work with Miami-Dade County Public Schools to solicit artworks from the students with disabilities of all ages, from elementary, middle school, and high school. And you'll see some of our pictures here that we have a piece from a student in the elementary level, middle school, high school. And we select 20 to 25 pieces. And we have this celebration, which we do in May. And this year it's on May 4th, where we invite the parents, we invite their teachers, the students themselves, everyone comes, they're dressed up. We have entertainment, we display the artwork in frames on the second floor so that the parents and the students can come and look at their artwork. And it's really an opportunity for the parents and the children to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment for the work that they've done. And through their participation, some of the benefits, what we're seeing is that the students are discovering some of their talent. It's also an opportunity for them to participate in a successful competition. And they're also given the opportunity to enhance the enrichment of our visual of our environment. And honestly, I have to say that when you see the children and their parents, when they see their artwork framed and displayed around the building, it really gives them a sense of appreciation and pride for the work and the talent that they're doing. And our vision really is to use artistry to help overturn those negative stereotypes of disability and to create a new vision for full inclusion and participation in community life, including independence and productivity. The success of our Art Abilities program has led to a couple of collaborations. In 2007, which I can't believe has been 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, we partnered with the Very Special Arts of Florida, otherwise known as VSA Florida, in order to present art on the move. And what we did was we selected 20 art pieces and we reproduced them in an accessible format. So some of them were reproduced in Braille, large print, tactile depictions, as well as audio descriptions. And then it was art on the move, so the exhibit traveled around Miami-Dade County and then traveled across Florida. And I have to say, this is a true story. We invited high school students who are blind to come and see the exhibit, and you could see them with their buddies, walking around, listening to the audio descriptions, and feeling the artwork. And this picture here of the angel, which I think is quite beautiful, we had reproduced in tactile version. And so here I see this 15 or 16-year-old high school student listening to the audio description of the picture and feeling the angel, elbows his buddy and says, "Oh my gosh, look at this ugly angel." I thought the angel was beautiful, but it's so typical of a 15 or 16-year-old to say, "Oh my gosh, this angel is like dorky or ugly," or whatever the case may be. So it was really cool to see the students seeing the artwork through their hands and through listening. And then in 2012, we had the opportunity to actually display 85 of our pieces at the Miami International Airport Gallery. And so that was really a wonderful experience, and there was an article in the Miami Herald and a news piece on it in the local news, so it was, that was a great collaboration. I don't see Mabel here yet. Is she? So we're going to actually fast forward. We invited Mabel Morales from Miami-Dade County Public Schools Visual Performing Arts Program. She works with us with the Art Abilities program, but also has some other programs through the Visual Performing Arts that are, this might be her, which would be a perfect segue. No? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just fast forward here. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Shelly Baer and Joanne Valenzuela to talk to you about Bold Beauty Project.
Thanks, Michelle.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you, Michelle. This is really exciting to be here, and it's kind of good with the lifespan approach. The Mailman Center focused on adults as well, so we're focusing on adults and women with disabilities, which is Bold Beauty Project. And we'll start with, everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. And this is one of our models, Cynthia Fleischman, who is just gorgeous. So what is Bold Beauty? It's a powerful visual arts project that showcases women with various disabilities, physical and sensory disabilities. Excuse my voice, I'm getting over being sick. And we match them with award-winning local photographers. This exhibit started 10 years ago. It's a labor of love for me. I was actually one of the models 10 years ago, and we collaborated with the Center for Independent Living, and it blossomed and grew, and we changed a team, and we changed our name, and I really couldn't let it go. I was invited to be one of the models, and it transformed my life, being one of the models, and really wanted to break up stereotypes around how women were portrayed as beautiful, sensual, and sexual beings. So I just couldn't let it go, and Mailman Center came on board about a year ago when we came back to Miami for our 10-year anniversary. So it's really super exciting that Mailman Center is now one of our partners, and some of our models that you're going to hear from today are associated with the Mailman Center in various projects that we have here at the Mailman Center. And this is all the photos that you're going to be seeing in our slideshow are models from our current show that happened in November 2015. So they're just beautiful. We have some of them on display in the back of the room as well. And this is Johnny May, and she's visually impaired. And it was just an amazing experience for a photograph because she didn't really know how she wanted to be photographed. So the photographer worked with her around touch. And those are fire dancers in the background. So she can have this sense of feeling. So the woman works very closely with her photographer around how she would like to be photographed, around how she defines herself as beautiful.
Hello everyone. As you can see, our mission is that disability becomes beauty, becomes art, becomes change. And in this picture, you can see that she's Marilee and she has no arms. But when you listen to the story and look at this picture, it says so much, and it's a beautiful photo of her. It has the actual wedding ring on her chain you see on her necklace. So this is our mission, and this is what we want to express to our youth. So we here have a quote. This is one of our models as well. And as Shelly was saying, our models are very close connected to the photographer. So they chose their photos and how they wanted to be photoed. We wanted to break the stigma of what society thinks of what is beauty, gorgeous, and we wanted, using Bold Beauty, wanted to get our models, our women with disabilities, or anyone to be exposed. So to be like in the stores, to be the models, to be the example. And the more we do this, the more people become more comfortable, and this will be exposed, and you will have more an inclusive society. So that's one of our goals as well. Our goals is the project hopes that collaboration between the photographer and their subjects will be transformative experience and to empower the models. We saw this throughout the project, throughout the whole entire project, when we made the contact between the models and photographer. The relationship was amazing. We had 25 models with approximately 25 photographers, and they were clearly perfect matches, how we matched. And they agreed, they would meet with the photographer, they would have conversations regarding the photo shoot, what they liked, what they didn't like, what would they're comfortable, what would they not comfortable with, to produce these pictures.
And Emma's right here. That's a beautiful photograph. So really, we challenge viewers to expand the concept of who and what is beautiful. And this is Carrie Grusin, and she's a local leader in our community. And she's never stood before, so that was like such a highlight for her to have her photograph. And he has a disability, he's an amputee, and I think he's a marathon runner. And we really want to use social media to build networks of bold beauties, to really inspire young girls who have disabilities or young girls who have differences, because they may have never seen women in the media that look like them. Me growing up with a disability, it certainly was true for me that when I looked through glossy magazines and devoured 17 magazines, I never saw women that looked like me in those images and magazines and media and TV. It's changing now. It really is changing. We've seen that, but not quick enough. And that's Mary Vaccaro is a paraplegic, and that's just a powerful image of her.
So with the Bold Beauty, we created a package so it can be replicated in multiple cities, and it's exact step by step, even from the collaboration team, the actual description of everyone on the team and how it was done and the whole process and what is needed. So really that is what our project's goal is, that it can be replicated in any cities around the country, or even, I believe, internationally. I think there's been interest from India of wanting to do this in India as well.
And Letitia's image is in the back of our room, and she works at the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis, so we wanted to include her because today's talk, because she's a part of our Health family, and that's an underwater photograph. The photographer that was matching her, that's the only way she shoots is underwater photography. So, and that was one of our, all the images were so powerful, but this is really a special photograph, and the photographer's husband made a cage out of wheelchairs that was on display during our exhibit during Art Basel and at the Bakehouse Art Complex. So we just were very proud to have that image. And that's me. Okay, so that's and as Joanne said, it's a replication package that we hope that other cities and other communities can replicate Bold Beauty in their city. So we're putting together our replication package as we speak to have that happen. So what is next? We have interest in Broward College, that community college that is interested in displaying our whole exhibit. So our whole exhibit is 25 images. So we're working with them right now to collaborate with them to display it in their library, hopefully through April, through the summer. Philadelphia is interested with the Moss Rehab Center and Temple University. So we're looking at the USED. We're a USED here at the University Center of Excellence here at the Mailman Center. So we're looking to collaborate with Temple and Moss Rehab for the spring of 2018. Tampa is also interested. I got a call from Miss Wheelchair Florida, and the USED as in Tampa USF is interested in collaborating with us and to continue to spread, have more women in different cities have this experience of being a model for a day. And as Joanne was saying, we're finalizing our replication packages as we speak. We have 2 of our models here, so we're gonna turn it over to them because we want you all to hear from our models what it was like participating in Bold Beauty, why they participated, why they think this project is important. So Denise, would you like to start? Yes, come up.
Hi, my name is Denise Fulhay, and I have cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy affects the parts of the brain that control the muscle. In my case, what was damaged is my voice and my left side is on the open look. So I met Shelly a couple of years ago when she did it at the first one, and Miss Shelly, and it was an amazing experience seeing them on display. So when Shelly asked me to be a part of it, now I was excited. I love fashion. I have a passion for fashion. Yeah. So I was watching the old movies. So I am an old movie star. That is my picture. That is what my picture represents. The old movie star. So I like old movies. So when I met Sharon's book, we collaborated about what we were going to do, and I wanted to bustier the old bustier. That is what I was going for. But I think this one classic. That one was classic. Because what 1995, I married to my husband in 1995, so that was before you were born. Yeah. So I like the fashion and I love doing this, and the important at doing this is to educate the general public that people like me, I like Shelly, I like Joanne, I like Emma, we are a part of this world. We can not only the disability, look at our ability. Yeah, beyond the disability, look at find the ability within everyone, not only people with the disability, but children who are not doing so well. Find that ability and then go on that ability. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Untitled. I was in a car accident when I was 2 years old, and I was a spinal cord injury, and that's how I lost my left arm. I have known Shelly because I see her around campus because I'm always here. And she brought up the idea that I participate, and to be honest, I was a little hesitant because I don't like attention at all. But after thinking about it and just talking to myself, I decided to do it just to branch out of my little bubble. And I was matched up with Maggie Seeger, who happened to be my professor at UM. So it was a perfect match, and we decided to do a little bit of everything, and then she would decide at the end which photo would be the one to be picked. The photo that was picked, I wasn't very comfortable with because I didn't feel it showed me completely. But after just looking at it and seeing everybody's reaction, I noticed what Maggie and everybody at Bold Beauty noticed, and it was just a different side of me that people didn't expect, that didn't want to realize it was there, because everybody has known me since I was a little girl, and I guess in a way everybody was protecting me and still protecting the little girl and didn't want to see her grow up in a way. And I think that's what my picture depicts. It's just a woman coming to her own self and realizing how beautiful she is and that she could do a lot if she just had a little confidence in herself. So that's what Bold Beauty did for me.
Thank you. And one thing we forgot to say, next to each photograph is a brief narrative expression that's in the model's own words that's placed next to them. So you get the visual impact of their photo, but then you read a little bit about them in their own words, their narrative expression about who they are and how they define themselves. So that's a part of our project as well. And we just, to kind of, bridge everything together, how art really challenges our art is a bridge, right? Like what we're doing with Art Abilities, what we're doing with the Bold Beauty. It just creates new conversations, new dialogues beyond any other platform can do that. So I had that.
Thank you, Shelly, Joanne, and Denise, and Emma. And just going back, I'd like to introduce Mabel Morales, who is the district supervisor for Miami-Dade County Public Schools Visual Performing Arts Program. And she's going to talk to you about some of the initiatives through Miami-Dade County Public Schools involving students.
Good morning, and I apologize for the Miami traffic. I come from the west end of the county over by FIU, and it was a challenge this morning, but I made it to be here with you. Actually very excited and honored to be here, just to tell you a little bit about the programs that we do with the school district from our office, which is Visual and Performing Arts. We had a long-standing relationship with the Mailman Center for many years, and then Michelle Castro went away, and then we had the new Michelle, and we got it back. So we're very happy that this is we're going on our third year back with the Mailman Center and Art Abilities, and the work that the students do in our district. We have a shift that it used to be called exceptional student education, but now it's individual differences for our students. And I think it's such a very big difference in how we treat our students, and not, as this young lady was saying, looking at their abilities and not their disabilities. And we want to challenge them no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're in a wheelchair, it doesn't matter if they have cerebral palsy, it doesn't matter if they have a speech impairment. We want to challenge them through the arts. So I'm just going to share a few pictures of some of the programs that we've done through the past and still do today through our office. And of course we have Art Abilities, which there's some wonderful images of the work of the students, and these students come here on that day with a lot of pride, and we're very happy to receive their certificates and be a part of a group of students that is acknowledged for their abilities. We have the Art Trucks program, which has been a part of our office for quite some years now, and it focuses on having the students not only have think the visual arts experience, but also the performing arts experience. And we have a relationship with many of the institutions in the county, with art institutions and performing arts centers. The Arts Center is very good about having performances for students with disabilities, specifically students with autism. They have the performances are brought down to the level in terms of the engineering, the lighting, the sound for students with autism, so they can also enjoy the performances. This particular one is at PINECREST Gardens. They're a big partner of ours, and they have the water park there and the animals. So we take the students from the different high schools, the high school students. Most of them are wheelchair bound with different disabilities, and we take them through a science exploration through the park, and then they actually make a work of art. The work of art is a work in progress. It usually starts in our first venue of the year, wherever we have our first exhibition, and those students will go to every one of our sites throughout the year and then continue the work of art, and at the end we have a culminating exhibition where the work is exhibited. Also through Pinecrest and other venues in the city, DACRA is another partner of ours. They have a lot of buildings in Wynwood. The developer owns a lot of buildings, so they'll lend us spaces for special exhibitions for these students. This image that you see here was actually drawn in chocolate by the students. So it was actually edible. So there you see them in action actually at Pinecrest Gardens, right here at the top, just drawing some of the koi fishes in the pond. And they love that place. Through Zots for Arts, the Miami-Dade Cultural Affairs Office has a partnership with Mr. Zotz himself. So he comes down and does a few workshops. He's actually coming down in a few weeks to do a workshop here in Miami-Dade. And that's the Cultural Affairs Office. And the park system has these pogo sticks that he actually invented, and they can be rented out. They actually lend them to the school district for free, so we'll pick them up and take them to the different venues that we're having the students come to so that they can create large pieces of artwork. And there you see some canvases that they created while at Pinecrest Gardens. And we'll have some volunteers, retired art educators, or even individuals who have worked with Mr. Zotz himself. So that's adaptive as well. As part of our museum education program, which has been standing for over 33 years with the district, and that's to allow students to go visit visual arts centers, we have partnerships with the De La Cruz, the Bakehouse, and Wynwood Walls. So we actually take the students on these field experiences where they can experience live works of art and not just be in a venue, well, okay, we're going to make art now you're going to experience it as well. And they do enjoy it. They actually enjoy the Wynwood Walls, even though that they have to trek around, and if they're in their wheelchairs, and they love it. They actually love it. And they get to meet the artists. A few years ago, they got to meet Purvis Young. If any of you are familiar, Purvis Young has a couple of murals right here on the other side of the highway. He was a very prominent artist in the community, and he did a lot of work with art design and architecture senior high school students. So Purvis Young had a gallery space when he was alive, and the students got to meet him. So that was exciting because his artwork was very free and just emotional, so it would help the students as well. With the Watercolor Society, Miami Watercolor Society, and the David Albert JCC Center, we host the watercolor workshops there. So we have the students with disabilities come out and work with some of the Miami Watercolor Society artists, and then their work is displayed as part of the watercolor show, the annual watercolor show. And they love the magic that the salt does to the watercolors. So if you've ever tried watercolors and you add salt, it makes all these textures, so the kids love that. And then also with Miami Cultural Affairs, we have the All Kids Included, and the All Kids Included is a K-12 show as well, and they have a culminating event at the South Dade Cultural Arts Center, and they make it an all-day event for the students to participate and their families. So it's a big showing from the community to come out and celebrate the talents of these students in all formats. And this year we had the honor of being invited by Autism Speaks and the Tommy Hilfiger Foundation, and they worked with 2 middle school schools in our district, one in the Wynwood community and one in the Southwest community, Glades Middle and Jose de Diego. And we had students with disabilities work with an artist from the Tommy Hilfiger Foundation who came from South Carolina and worked with over 20 students from each school. They created these wonderful paintings about love and how, as part of their disability, how they should love themselves because they're special in this community. And the work was then exhibited on Lincoln Road in the Tommy Hilfiger store, and they had a photo booth with the artworks of the students flashing behind on the photo booth, so you could go and take a picture at the photo booth with students' artwork in the background. And then they had the paintings in the display cases along Lincoln Road. So that was really special for those kids, and just knowing that their work was going to be exhibited in a wonderful storefront on Lincoln Road, and being able to experience that with their family was very exciting. So we have had a lot of opportunities for our students, and we hope to grow more and just showcase the wonderful work that the students can do despite them having challenges, because we don't believe in problems, we believe in solutions, and we want to make everything available to the students that we can. So thank you.
So we have left time for questions or comments. Do we have any comments or questions? Oops, last slide. Yes.
Yeah, I just feel like they're Marty.
But also emotional, and but very emotional. Because
What did it feel like being like?
I know that I was beautiful.
I know you explained it.
When I was young, I didn't feel like. I never feel like my parents accepted the disability. They tend to, not address the disability. They address it with other people, but never with you. And that was the first part. At one point, when the guy was putting on the makeup and you were like, I would, Kevin would see you, and then you would see me. So that was the first.
So did the whole process kind of help you accept yourself in a new way, Denise?
Well, I always accepted myself, but still with the lot of that having that acceptance from your parents, and that is different. It's very different. You can accept yourself, but when somebody who you love, it's a very different. I understand the question, but when it comes from your parents, it's different. So that is why I said, it doesn't matter what the child or the individual have, what challenges the individual has, is one good thing, and you are the most important thing in that. In the young people now, make sure that the takeaway is make sure that whatever young people that is around you, make sure that you feel like they are okay for what they are, who they are. Sorry. Sometimes when I do this, I do not get emotional. And I do laugh.
Thank you. Thank you, Denise.
Well, it's hard to make a transition from easily personal discussion of this, and then a lot of the focus has been on, what it means for the artist, what it means for the model. But we also use this a lot in our teaching, right? Because of the way it can break through stereotypes. I think it's worth spending a couple of minutes on that. And with our medical students, we have a lot of stuff about cultural competence and diversity, and one of them is about disability in particular. And I don't know if you want to share at all, Shelly, what it's like to share some of the bold beauty stuff with the medical student audience, and then maybe I'll make some comments too.
I love doing that. I love sharing about bold beauty and a little bit of my story when we talk about cultural competence and disability culture to the medical students and to the LEN trainees as well. I bring it up to when we talk to the LEN trainees and I share my story of what it's like growing up with a disability. It just kind of breaks through a lot of my words. I can kind of show the images and show the we have a really brief video about the Bold Beauty project, so it kind of breaks through it more quickly, and some of the comments that we receive and questions that emerge from the discussions, it's quicker. It kind of cuts across in a quicker way using the imagery, some of the stories, some of the testimonials of the models, not just my story. I bring in everybody else's story because it's not all about me. So we created this to have many women have this experience, and it's really transformative for the woman who goes through the process. The photographer, they're transformed as well because they're not used to photographing women with differences, physical differences, within the audience that comes to see the photographs. So I really thank you for allowing me to bring Bold Beauty into the Mailman Center and the medical students, and I think it cuts through quicker. It kind of opens up dialogues in a different manner. So we continue.
You hear from others too on why it works, right? Because, and I guess it's partly, you could imagine sort of a feminist scholar talking about how you're taking traditional stereotypes about women and then using them to say something about disability, right? And how for medical students or any other audience or any of us that when we see it or experience someone with disability, all those ideas, right? And it seems like stereotypes that come up in any kind of personal experience come in. But when so many pictures about sexuality,
right?
Sexuality is the kind of thing that's a little bit embarrassing, deep, transformative for all of us, and it does because you can. If we could imagine if Shelly came and said how important it is to respect people with disabilities, and med students all nod and say, yes, it's very important, but it doesn't sort of pierce into the humanity, right? And that's really what we try to do. I think it's a really powerful teaching tool for that reason.
There's another point that I think is really important to make here. And for all of the transformative, impactful, educational components of what we do, whether it's art abilities or whether it's bold beauty, an individual with whatever ability and disability enjoys doing things. And one of the things that this points out is that if there is a person with a disability who wants to be involved as a model, well, they should be able to have as much fun doing that as someone who doesn't have a disability. And if there is a child who wants to do a picture or a sculpture, that whether they have a disability or not, it can be fun. And so part of this is not just the inspirational. I think it is a very important tool, but for us to be able to think about the fact that when we talk about inclusion, in a real sense, it's the creation of the ability for someone to do something they enjoy. And I hope we don't lose that picture in all of the benefits that this has in terms of education and inspiration.
I know it started with a female focus, and we had some males as kind of side pieces in some of the
We're always side
but I can imagine it would be similarly impactful for the males with disabilities and chronic diseases and other kinds of.
Yeah, we got asked that a lot to include men with disabilities.
Well, you did have
Down the line.
And down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sort of portraying.
Side piece.
Yeah.
Side piece.
We're getting a lot of interest, and something that I experienced throughout the exhibit, which was very powerful too. And you can see its sensuality, and the photos they're not, some of them are not G as we would call. I saw a lot of parents, like Shelly was saying, it was very empowering when you have the photo and you have the bio. I mean, that perfect set visual, and we had parents asking, why are we not showing this more to children? And why we're not exposing, because it was so empowering for the parents to see the women's stories from where they were to where they became, and that was so powerful. And when a parent came and asked me, "Can I do you have a book so I can show my child?" That's where it was very, and that's where also we're thinking, then how do we have this available for everyone?
And just another comment on Dr. Brosco's use of kind of interactions as part of education for medical students, for the pediatrics residency program, just pointing out in a healthcare setting that this is a child, this is a teenager, just as any other child or teenager would be presenting for a medical intervention. Sometimes helps the students realize it's the same questions, it's the same assessment, it's the same evaluation that they do with the child, and not focusing only on what the parents are telling them about the child, because there's a lot of shyness sometimes about engaging the young person in the wheelchair or asking some of the sensitive social history or feelings or emotional parts of health. And the students and the residents generally realize it's just a 15-year-old. It's just an 18-year-old.
We have the same issue. We have the same issue. We have boys. We have growing pains that all you do. It's the same issue.
The same hormones that are going out of
The same social pressures,
Yeah.
the same expectations, goals.
Right.
We should probably also mention that when we have the Art Abilities celebration each year, and then it's one of the best days of the year for Mailman. We invite the child, of course, and the parents, and not just the parents come, the aunts, the uncles, the siblings, the cousins. It ends up being this huge party, and it really is a moment. And every time we walk through the Mailman Center, I don't know about the rest of you, every time I see one of the pictures and see a name, it reminds me why we're here and what we're doing and why it matters so much. It's inspirational for all of us on a daily basis. So thank you for continuing to participate. We appreciate it.
And maybe some of the Art Abilities children can be bold beauty models in the future as they grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm my first male
Model? You do? Okay.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Thank you.